it a little bit away because it does get a bit weird. Sure. So it's going to be there, just so it's not too shouty.
Okay. Okay. Hi. Hi. I'm very nervous. I didn't write anything. I meant to. I just want to say, I'm very nervous.
Doing great.
All right, thank you. Okay. I'm a lesbian. I've never done much activism before in my life, but it became really apparent to me as a lesbian when I started being called a bigot and a transphobe for wanting to date other women, that there was a real problem going on. I think I became aware of it a bit before that. J.K. Rowling's letter in 2020, I wasn't bothered by it, but a lot of other people seemed to be, and that's when I kind of realized that I didn't seem to hold the same opinions as the populace, and that seemed to be a pretty awful thing. I've done my own research. I've come to my own conclusions. I'm very glad I found the WDI. I'm very glad I found Kelly J. Site. I'm very glad I found the women in the UK. I urge all of you as well to sign the WDI Declaration for Sex-Based Rights. If you haven't heard of Judith Butler, look her up. She's part of the reason that our language is being bastardized as far as I'm concerned. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for supporting me and all of the women, and I hope that I can support every woman and child out there as well and protect them. Thank you.
Well done, lovely.
Melbourne, Australia held its first Speakers Corner yesterday, so that's amazing. Women all over the world organizing to raise our voices.
Spider-Man.
And we don't
I'm live zooming. Where are you going, Spider-Man? Do you know what a woman is?
And
Oh, hi, how are you?
To see you. Hi, hello. Yes, hi. I'm Juliana. There we go. Hi, I'm Juliana. It is lovely to be here. I'm so glad and honored, Kelly, that you came to Los Angeles first on your world tour. Thanks for coming to see us. We appreciate it. I just want to get up here and say that we had a young man come up a few speakers ago who seemed to want to educate us about the political system. Yeah, we can vote all we'd like, but there are very large names that are controlling a lot of things. And it didn't take me long when I started looking into the insidiousness that is this gender ideology to find out who these people were. If you could, everyone listening at home, people here, if you've not looked up these names, look up Judith Butler, Martine Rothblatt, Gabrielle Metzneff. He is a pedophile who has been on the run for almost 2 years now. He's wrote books in the 70s about it. He just outed himself. It's insane. Who else? Let's see here. Jack Lang is another one. Look that name up. I'm sure there are more that I'm not remembering. But look at John Stryker. Thank you. John Stryker, the Arcus Foundation, Pritzkers, Scott Wiener here in California. He is drafting insane bills. That man, thank you. That man needs to be stopped. Look these people up. Gather in your communities. I am part of a legislation group. Look, if you're in California here, talk to me after this. Let's talk, because it needs to be stopped. And I want to do everything I can. We cannot do this to children or to lesbians. I'm a lesbian, and this is awful. I don't know where to go anymore, except for, thank God I found these women right here. And I will find other places. Gay Chapman is going to keep, after Ellen, a lesbian-only space, and I thank her for that. And I think we need to make more lesbian-only spaces and actually define what a woman is in order for you to come into that space. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Can I have my microphone? Do you know, ever since that trans activist stole it, I keep losing my microphone. This lady, would you like to be next? Yes. If you hold that, I'm going to pin it on you. If that's okay. Sure. All right.
Hi, my name is Yvette. I'm
Hi. Yeah.
Oh, that's a great shot of the Y behind you. So of course, you know, we got some comments where were the women, why the religious focus, but I'd love to get your overall reactions to the crowd. Thank you for getting some great shots of the kind of counter protesters. We heard Gays Against Groomers was there, but I didn't see them.
I didn't see them either, honestly. There were three counter protesters, a woman, an older woman, with a younger girl, and then, um, you know, some LARPing male who has a trans flag cloaked over him. Um, and then there was one more man who was here dressed as a woman, and his mother was here that had a "I support my child" or "proud parent"
Yeah. Yep.
sweatshirt on. So I guess that's five total. Um, and this is a pretty big crowd. I would say it ended up probably being about 150, 200 people.
Oh wow,
Um,
that's great.
yeah, no, it filled up. And it's a religious organization. They're the ones that organized it. I would have loved to have spoke. I tried to get the guy's attention at the end. I was back there like waving my hand.
Yeah.
But it seems like they had their agenda and their plan. And I didn't agree with everything they said either. I was honestly pretty surprised at the second speaker. I think he was the gentleman with the beard who said that he doesn't have any problem with transgender multiple times. That surprised me.
Yeah, I was like, I do.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, wait. And I'm over here filming, so I can't like be all, like I can't go crazy as much as I would love to have been like, excuse me. But it's a good crowd, and it's a lot of my impression is it's a lot of parents. It's a lot of parents that just want to protect their children, and
Yeah.
and the people that I spoke to here, because we got here, about an hour beforehand, and the women that I spoke to before this started, I think the kind of baffling the question of the day was, will they provide gender neutral spaces? So
Yeah.
I don't understand why was this man still trying to get in. And so it was really interesting to have those conversations to be like, well, that's the point. It's the boundary crossing. It's the violation. That's the that they're saying it themselves. It's like you just sometimes have to like wrap it all, put a bow on it.
Yeah.
And but yeah, it was great to come out and talk to people who are relatively on the same page. At the very
Yeah.
least, they agree that men should not be in women's spaces. So
Yeah, I think that's great. Yeah, I love that part. The more sort of hardline they were on that, I really appreciated. I heard one guy, I think it was, who was basically like, if they had all the right surgeries and had all the right look, and I was just like, no.
Well, and I heard that from a lady here too, and she wasn't necessarily making the argument to me and that she believed it. It was more of a question, because it was funny. She was she thought I was there supporting. I was here supporting the man.
Oh,
and I was like, oh no. I was like, clearly, I'm here supporting the women.
Clear.
I got my TERF, my little bubble
love
cap.
it. I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
So, anyway, she was like, well, but from my understanding, he's had all of his surgeries. And I said, okay, well, then he's a eunuch. He's still not a man or woman. He's still not a woman. Like, that's it.
Yeah. Castrated men are not women. Yeah.
Right. A castrated man is still a man. He just is a castrated one. It's as simple as that. So, really great to come out and have conversations with people and kind of like get a temperature of the different levels of peaked, I guess you could say, that people are and where they see concern.
Yeah.
Because seems like everyone, you get piqued personally and you come at it from different angles. So yeah, one lady, she expressed that, it's like, how do people not know that this is happening? And it's like, well, how can you? No, there are no news. I asked her, I said, well, tell me a news service that is reporting on this.
Yeah.
Aside from Fox News, aside from Tucker Carlson, who else is talking about this? And it's like, no one. Well, then how are some people supposed to know? Like, it's one of those things, like, until it happens to you, right?
Yep, absolutely. Wow. Well, I really appreciate you all going out there and getting the coverage. I think that there was just there's a lot of things in the speeches I agreed with. There was, definitely things that were, outside of my belief system. I think we're going to have a pretty good chat. There was a lot going on in the chat, of course. So I think we'll have a good conversation about that.
Oh, great. Yeah, I would have loved to have spoken and to be like, LGB, we do not support this, and I don't believe. If I believe in a God, he certainly isn't a man.
Yeah.
But women are with you in this issue. But we got their information. Apparently, there's different chapters of this organization, so maybe we can show up at one closer and speak more on behalf of women, and not on behalf of God.
Absolutely.
As it were. So
absolutely. I love that. I love that.
Here. Melissa.
Hey, Melissa. I'm so glad you all were there. I appreciate all of you being there and getting such good coverage for us. Of course, there's a lot of conversation in the chat going on, as you can imagine. I was just talking to Jules and was wondering about any feedback that you want to give us about the kind of feeling at the event, your take on the speeches, and I look forward to doing many more.
Thank you for giving, thanks for posting, for having the platform I'm so glad. Anything to get the word out, So this was wonderful. Thank you, Amy.
All right. Much love to you, ladies. Right. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Thanks for watching. Bye.
Okay. Hi, Kelly J. My name is Juliana. I've met you twice before, and it was an honor both times. I met you in front of the White House in Washington, D.C., and I met you down here in L.A.
I can so totally, yes, I recognize your voice. Hi, how are you?
Thank you. I'm honored. I'm wonderful. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm great. Thank you. Great.
All right. Thank you so much for taking my call. I just wanted to talk just for a few minutes about, I live in California. I'm a California citizen, born and raised. I will take all the sympathy you want to give me in the chat about that. Born in San Francisco, nonetheless. So I'm well aware of, the issues that we face. And here in California, we're in a pretty bad way, as I'm sure most of your audience is aware of. So there's a wonderful woman and a few organizations that have put together an initiative that we are trying to get on the ballot for 2024. And I would love to speak a bit about that. We are trying to pass a bill that will protect children specifically from the harms of gender identity ideology. And this bill is, it's threefold. Sorry, I had my information up here. Here it is. So this is initiative. It's the Protect Kids of California Act of 2024. And what this initiative will do will require schools to notify parents when their children want to socially transition in school settings. The initiative will ensure that girls and women have fair competition by ensuring girls' athletic programs are for female athletes only. The third thing this bill will do, the third concept, is to prevent child sterilization by prohibiting puberty blockers, cross-sex hormones, which I refer to as wrong sex hormones, or transgender surgeries on minors. So I just ask, I'm going to put a link in your chat here for the petition and for the website itself. If anyone and everyone can please look at it. we need to raise a decent amount of money. We're trying to get it on the ballot for November 2024. Our deadline for that is April of this month. If we don't collect enough signatures or money, it will have to be pushed back to 2026.
How much money do you need?
That's a great question. So on the website of the Protect Kids CA, it states that we need $3 million.
Jesus. God.
It's insane. We have to pay. We have to hire a company to verify every single signature that we receive, and we have to pay for that. Now, I do want to tell anyone listening as well that the ballot, they are calling it "Restrict the Rights of Transgender Youth Initiative Statute," and that is completely misleading.
Yeah.
We are not restricting the rights of. Unfortunately, when something is proposed, the Attorney General is the one that actually writes the title and the summary. So our goal to protect children has turned into we are anti-trans, which, of course, it's to be expected at this point. There's an organization called CIF. It's the California Interscholastic Federation. I was grateful to attend an event last Friday in which we, parents, athletes, and coaches, and me and another woman from Southern California, I think we were the only two that were neither of the three, but we showed up. We all spoke, and they had a 30-minute public comment, and we all spoke to them. And, it's very frustrating to sit in a room full of adults and ask them to please act like adults.
Yeah.
And
I've
please
been there.
protect women and girls. We're talking about girls here. All these initiatives are simply to protect minors. Yeah. And it's not just protecting, boys. But boys deserve their privacy too. Not that girls are forcing their way into boys' spaces.
So
sorry, go ahead.
Let me just ask them from our point, not from our point of view, from a British perspective, right? Just so I can understand the strategy here. So you go to take a bill. It's going to take $3 million. I'm assuming in order to get that $3 million, you need people to support you and donate money, or maybe you need some sort of big funder who has faith in you, who isn't going to ask for other things from you in order for their money, but just to support this particular bill. Is it going to pass? Like, let's say you get there. Let's say you get your 3 million, you get your signatures. Does it have a chance if the whole of the, what is it, Senate? What is it that you're putting it in front of?
Well, that's the thing. The reason that we're doing it this way is that for an initiative to become a law, the ballot initiative process proposes laws and constitutional amendments without the support of government or legislation.
So how does it? What will you need to, when you take that the bill and you put it somewhere? What needs to happen for it to get through? Because I'm assuming it's not automatic, right? Somebody
Correct.
has to agree to it. So what then needs to happen? Is it to the electorate, or is it to the elected people?
It's put to the people of California. That's why we're trying to do this, because all of these insane bills that we have on the books that are mostly written by Scott Wiener.
Yeah, what a nice guy.
Oh yeah, isn't he just quite a catch of a senator? Just love his fetish gear.
He's not a catch if he's not a catch if you were trying to get some eels. He's not a catch. He's just such he's the embodiment of his policies. He looks like the sort of man to make the policies that he's made. He really, if there was a lineup of 100 men and he was in it and you said, who do you think did the policy to get men into women's prisons? Or who do you think made the policy supports the policy of a sanctuary state and kids can come and get, he's so disgusting. But anyway, I hate him so much, but I digress. You carry on.
No, I hate it too. And like I said, being born and raised a little bit in California, in San Francisco, when those Folsom Street photos came out, I'd love to say I was shocked, but I'm just not. I've become so desensitized to insanity. But yeah, so Scott Wiener has written a lot of bills, you know, and those go to the Senate. They're voted on. What would happen with this ballot is the vote would be put to the people, and that's why we're trying to do it. Because if you go to on the Protect Kids California website, there are pie graphs and there are statistics showing the percentage of Californians that are actually against the transition of minors, that are actually against girls being in boys' sports. So we want the people to vote. We want the people's voices to be heard, not these elected officials that have been voted in and are doing a huge detriment to our state. And unfortunately the whole country, because as I've observed, California, it seems like we don't care what the federal government thinks. They just do whatever they want.
Right.
But then that seems to bleed into the rest of the United States. I almost feel like California is a bit of the canary in the coal mine.
100%, I think it is the canary in the coal mine. And then what happens with all your little canaries is they fly off and they make coal mines elsewhere and they ruin other states. So I agree with you. Well, you're my last call, so do make sure you put something in there now. And I know Ali is also in the chat, so maybe she can do the link to the things that you need. But I hope that you're right, that there's enough sane people in California to approve the bill should it get there. But it's absolutely scandalous that in order to even access that sort of democracy in the United States of America, it takes such a ridiculous amount of money. Because your opponents have got it because they're sponsored by Big Pharma, right? So they've got an infinite amount of cash. And it's just us. It's just us little Davids that are really fighting the Goliath on this. So I wish you all the love and luck in the world.
Thank you. Thank you very much for taking my call, and thank you all for listening to me. Appreciate it. It's been an honor to meet you, Kelly, and thank you for all that you do.
You too. Thanks so much. Really nice to talk to you. Bye-bye.
Good night.
Okay. So
for our last three speakers. Anybody opposed? All right, so we're going to go ahead and extend time for our last three speakers. So please introduce yourself, and we'll do 2 minutes for our last three. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm just going to hold it. Hi, my name is Juliana, and I was one of the women that the speaker formerly came up here. I was one of the women she's talking about. I was here last year, and I asked, please be the adults in the room, and it hasn't happened. So what I'm going to do here is, I just want to read the first 2 sentences of our new executive order here. It says, in recent years, many educational institutions and athletic associations have allowed men to compete in women's sports. This is demeaning, unfair, and dangerous to women and girls, and denies women and girls the equal opportunity to participate and excel in competitive sports. I might not have used the word demeaning last year, but I do recall using the word dignity, that our young girls deserve dignity, as do the boys. I'm not under a delusion that every single boy relishes in undressing in front of a girl. I don't think that's happening either. I think what we're doing is forcing children to do something unnatural themselves, girls and boys. And I would love to take a poll, but I imagine nobody wants to raise their hand here. Does anyone think that that is incorrect? Does anyone here think that it is not demeaning, unfair, and dangerous to women and girls and denies women and girls equal opportunity when men and boys are allowed to compete? Does anyone think it's okay? Because if you don't think it's okay, you are the governing body of high school, and you are the ones to make the change. Trump did it. I don't know who expected Trump to do it. I don't know if I did, but he did. And step in line, please, just protect girls. Thank you.